I'm afraid it's been 9 years.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Young here and welcome to another Metal Gear Solid 5 news update. The big buzz out there right now is that David Hayter will not be reprising his role as Snake. In my previous videos, I was pretty much convinced that this was certain. But after what I've just seen, I'm beginning to think there's the possibility that this whole thing is an elaborate ruse. Conveniently, right on April Fool's Day, David Hayter posted this tweet saying goodbye to the role of Snake. Here's his version of the story. He explains how he came back from work on a December break to find out that recording sessions for Metal Gear Solid 5 were being set up without his knowledge. So he contacted someone at Kojima Productions, they met and had lunch, and then David Hayter was told that he wasn't needed. No further explanations were given. Then he proceeds to talk about his love for the character Snake, saying that he would play this role forever if it was up to him, reassuring the fans that he didn't purposely abandon the role. He even says that it makes him a bit ill to hear someone else's voice coming out of Snake's mouth. He closes by thanking the fans and saying that he'll miss the role and character very much. So that's the story. I call bullshit. Either David Hayter is stupid enough to release heavy posts like this on April Fool's Day, or Kojima and Hayter are having a drink together right now as we speak, having a laugh at people's reactions. Now, I'm not confirming or denying anything. As of now, the official announcement from Kojima himself is that there's no David Hayter in this game. What I am saying is that unlike before, there's actually a possibility that this is one giant troll job. David Hayter could have released this tweet on any other day, but why on April Fool's Day? Raises an exclamation mark over your head, doesn't it? So, if it does turn out that David Hayter does make it into the game, there are two possible roles for him. The first possibility is that he'll play the younger Big Boss in the Ground Zeroes chapter, which takes place 9 years prior to the events of the Phantom Pain chapter. The new American voice we heard was actually from the Phantom Pain chapter, which features a Big Boss that is 9 years older. Also, considering that the Ground Zeroes chapter takes place only a few months after the events of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, which starred David Hayter as Big Boss, it wouldn't make sense if Big Boss's voice changed in a span of just a few months. And since we have not heard what Big Boss's American voice sounds like in the Ground Zeroes chapter when he's 9 years younger, the game leaves room for David Hayter to make a return. We have, however, heard Ground Zeroes' Japanese voice for Big Boss, which happens to be the voice of Akio Otsuka, the man who has voiced Snake in Japan ever since Metal Gear Solid 1. So think about it. Since the Japanese voice of Snake from past Metal Gear Solid games reprises his role in Ground Zeroes, and since we have yet to hear Big Boss's American voice for this prologue chapter, there's still room for David Hayter to reprise his role. We only hear the new English voice actor for the 9 years older Big Boss during the events of the Phantom Pain chapter. And remember, as Big Boss gets older, his voice becomes more distinct from that of Solid Snake's as shown in Metal Gear Solid 4. And it gets better. Again, in Ground Zeroes, we have heard the Japanese voice, Akio Otsuka, but not the American voice. In the Phantom Pain chapter, on the other hand, we have heard the new English voice, but not the Japanese voice. And since Big Boss's English voice actor is different, there is room for a new Japanese voice actor to play the much older Big Boss. Bottom line, if we assume that Big Boss's voice changes throughout 9 years, from the Ground Zeroes chapter to the Phantom Pain chapter, then the mystery is solved. So possibility number 1, David Hayter and Akio Otsuka, the American and Japanese voice actors for Snake respectively, will play Big Boss 9 years younger for Ground Zeroes, and brand new English and Japanese voice actors will play the Big Boss that is 9 years older for the Phantom Pain. Possibility number 2 is that Big Boss will be voiced by the same voice actors for both his younger and older self in Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain, but David Hayter will make an appearance as a young Solid Snake. I mean, sure, Solid Snake is only 12 years old when the Phantom Pain chapter begins in 1984, but keep in mind, we still don't know how far the story of the Phantom Pain will reach. Who's to say the story won't span across a few years? By the end of the game, the story may reach a point in which Solid Snake is mature enough to have David Hayter's voice, and we may meet this character. The reason I think possibility number 2 isn't likely is because in Japan, Akio Otsuka voices Big Boss, and if Solid Snake makes an appearance, who's gonna voice him in the Japanese version of the game? So I don't know, possibility number 2, a little more doubtful, but we don't know yet. These are just my speculations and theories, but bottom line, let's not completely rule out the possibility of David Hayter reprising his role in Metal Gear Solid 5 quite yet. So, what do you guys think about this tweet? Is David Hayter trolling us, or is it a sincere tweet that was posted at the wrong time? Let me know in the comments below. To be further updated on Metal Gear Solid 5, be sure to join the NASIAN and subscribe to Younggear. I also cover other AAA franchises and will soon start reviewing games. Also, look forward to my game cinemas, like the upcoming Skyrim movie Dragonborn coming on summer of 2013. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much, and Young out!